Before we start talking about the new album, I just wanted to get some sort of sense of the importance of your own work to yourself. When you look back on what you've created so far, are you proud of the body of work you've done so far?
Well, that's a funny question because more than anything, it just reflects, my life. I don't know if you're proud about it.
Are you the sort of person that, now looks more ahead than you do back? Because a lot of artists sometimes get to a point where they've done 4 or 5 albums and they kind of think, there's still so much more to do and so much more that I've got to get out through my music. And I'm kind of curious to know where you sort of sit at this point in time with the new album just out.
No, and there's so much more crap they can write. Do you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it's kind of scary, writing music because you don't know what people are going to think. And it's pretty vulnerable. And people can be kind of vicious about the whole thing. So all you can do is write the music and put it out there.
Yeah. You've never been one, though, to hold back with your music, though?
At the end of the day, the muse kind of takes me by the hair and drags me and says, if you don't respect me, then I'm never going to come to you again.
So you feel like, I've read this before in your interviews, where you feel like almost like a channeler for the muse.
Well, I think if you think you do it by yourself, then you might have a really, really humbling awakening coming.
Well, how much intervention do you honestly feel when you're creating the music? Are you literally that sort of out of yourself where you lose sense of time and place?
No, but obviously my experiences come into play. But at the same time, you have to realize it's just a thread. It's not what all the songs are about. And you have to respect that the songs, it's not just about you. And if you think that, then I think the songs just stop coming.
Why would they just stop coming?
Well, do you write songs?
No. Do I? No.
Yeah. Well, if you try and you get arrogant, then you'll know why they stop coming.
But why does... I'm just a bit confused as to why arrogance. If you felt confident in what you're doing and you're feeling like you're churning out great stuff.
No, confidence and arrogance are two very, very different things. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. But in terms of a songwriter, what do you mean by arrogance?
If you think you're the only one that's creating, then you're quite an arrogant person. There are a lot of them out there, and they don't make records anymore. The ones that do understand it's not just about them. Whether it's Neil Young, Robert Plant, Peter Gabriel, give them a call. They'll tell you this.
So would it be fair to say that it feels like a magical process for you to write a song?
Magical is a very tricky word right now, just because the Americans really use that against you if you say that.
Okay. Why?
Well, do you know many Americans?
I know a few. We'll
stay away.
Yeah. Why have the press bitten you a little bit of late?
I think anytime you mention the word magical, they get very confused on New Age. They get very confused on what that means.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're being very cautious with the words you use, and I'm just worried that you've said stuff in the past and people have started to criticise you because you've just been very open in interviews. Would that be true?
Yeah, that's very true. My grandfather taught me when I was a little girl to respect the spiritual world. And it's funny when you do that sometimes, how people really make this, I don't know, some kind of Disney World bastardization of what that means.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to talk about that stuff and, for one, put it into words, but two, relate sincerely something special that you would have felt inside. As soon as you put it into words, you kind of undercut the meaning of it and the significance of it, don't you?
Well, you've just put it perfectly.
But that's a real shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because, I mean, it can be something that's so enlightening to you and you want to share it or you want to just relate it to someone, and it is frustrating.
I think the best thing is you put the music out there and people get it or they don't. And if they don't, you just keep doing what you're doing. And that's sort of the end of it.
Yeah, your music is interesting because it's not only open to lots of interpretations, but it's also open to a lot of different emotional responses. I mean, I listen to your songs, and just depending on what I'm feeling at the point in time, it will reflect how I kind of try to get inside your head and hear what you're trying to create. And therefore, it's open to many interpretations, many of them probably, the wrong interpretations in terms of what you were trying to create.
Yeah, but the exciting thing is getting inside your own head. Not getting inside my head. You don't want to get inside my head. Getting inside your own head. That's kind of exciting.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's the wonderful thing. But you also reflect on the artist itself, him or herself, and try to, just imagine or wonder. It's just common human behaviour, really, isn't it? And there lies the difficulty in doing interviews with artists, because sometimes you're prying and probing into their subconscious.
Yeah, and I'm prying into yours.
You're not supposed to do that. I'm only supposed to do it to you.
Yeah, but supposed to. I don't. Those words aren't in my vocabulary.
Yeah. Can I just?
That's why I lived in the corner when I was at school.
You're isolated?
No. My desk was always in the corner.
Oh, okay. Why was that a safe position for you, do you think?
It's not about safe. I asked too many questions that they didn't like.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Sorry. So they kind of separated you and banished you up into the corner. Yeah.
Funny that, eh?
Yeah. Education, we could sort of talk about education and its limitations and especially what it imposes on young people, but that's probably a 20 to 30-minute discussion at least.
No, we could talk about, the thing is, when you're the interviewee and you're questioning the interviewer, what's going on in their brain, that doesn't seem to be okay, which I find very funny.
Oh, it is.
You guys just don't want to go there, do you?
No, we don't want to be drawn into the process.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Part of the reason being, it assumes, and just reflecting back on the word arrogance, I mean, it assumes some sort of sense of we're as important as you are.
Don't play that, sweet pea. Don't even play that card. Don't hide behind that one.
You don't think I'm being sincere?
No, you're not sincere at all. You're hiding behind that so that I don't tear you apart.
Oh, that. Look, I mean, totally. I mean, an interviewer's role should be to allow the musician, the person that they're speaking to speak to their fans. I am just a mediator. I am just trying to, whenever I interview someone, I'm just merely trying to get them to open up about their work to give some sort of sense of communication to the fans. I
think you'd be surprised on an interview you and I could have if I could really, really sit down and talk to you. Because you have to know, I haven't told you anything that I don't want to tell you. And you have to know I'm very curious about who you are. So be very, very, very careful because I just might stalk you.
Yeah.
That made you very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it does totally. And I understand that the artist is only going to reveal a certain amount of their own self to...
You have to understand something. I've done thousands of interviews, and you have to understand I've been stalked many times. And you have to understand that sometimes I'm curious about you guys. Because don't think I don't know stuff about you when you ask me questions. That just really, really makes me giggle sometimes. That you guys don't think that I don't know stuff about you just by what you ask me.
If I can be
Funny, eh?
I know, but if I can be bold at this point and just ask you after 10 minutes of speaking to you what you're interpreting of what I'm asking, I'd be curious to know.
I would like to sit down with you with a margarita and a really good green salad and have 1 hour and interview you. And whatever radio station you're on, I would like to take your role and you take mine. I would love that. And I would really, really, really be honorable towards you.
What, have you assumed that I haven't been honorable towards you?
I'm not saying that.
Oh.
But I'm saying don't be afraid. If we ever had that opportunity, don't be afraid.
And
I would love you to play this whole interview for everybody. Is this live?
Oh, no, this is not live. But this will get played. We're doing a big...
Fantastic.
No.
Because this would not get played in America.
No.
No way.
It would be on the edit floor already, or even that, or the interview would have been cut off by now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So play this, and if you ever get... I don't know, an opportunity to be interviewed, I would like to be the one to interview you.
You make this sound like such a threatening process.
I don't think I do.
I'm interpreting...
How many people
yeah.
have wanted to interview you?
Not all that many, only a couple.
So why does it have to be threatening? It's just I'm interested in interviewing you. That doesn't have to be threatening. If you think it's threatening, what do you think I go through every day, 20 times a day?
No, but you're making it sound like it's a threatening process.
Oh, am I? Am I making it?
No, because hang on,
This is not a dual conversation. You have nothing to do with this. Own your part in this.
Sorry, what is my part in this? I've answered that. I've said that. I was saying that you're making this sound like a threatening process.
Oh, I'm sure I am. It's all my fault.
Oh, I'm not saying that, Tori. I'm just saying that you said that you'd want to sit down with me for an hour with a margarita.
Absolutely, I would. So why is that threatening to you?
To show me what it's like to be on the, to have the shoe on the other foot, to see what it's like to be on...
So maybe I would be absolutely gracious with you and really compassionate. You don't know what I would be like.
I try to be compassionate and gracious in every interview I do, though.
Who's saying you're not? I'm just saying I'd like to interview you. You haven't been interviewed before. I'd like to do it.
I've been interviewed a couple of times, and let me tell you, I find it much easier to ask the questions than to answer them. I will say that.
So maybe you haven't really had caring people asking you the right questions.
So maybe...
Okay.
Sorry, I missed that. Maybe I haven't...
You want to try? Let's try. Let's just go for it. Like, what's your favorite ice cream sundae?
That's a very American question. My favorite ice cream would have to be chocolate. We don't have sundaes much over here.
I thought every country had sundaes.
They do, but I know what you mean. The American, ice cream sundaes are kind of like banana splits with topping and all that, nuts and all that sort of stuff, isn't it?
I never have nuts.
You never have nuts? What's wrong with nuts?
I just don't have them on my ice cream sundaes.
Oh, okay, all right. That's the vision I've got of ice cream sundaes. But if I eat ice cream, I just eat it plain. And chocolate is my favourite flavour. And vanilla.
Yeah, I love chocolate too. See, I don't think you'd be a horrible interview. I think it'd be okay.
Oh, well, that sort of questioning's fine. If you start digging a little deeper, I might start to squirm, though.
But maybe I won't dig deeper. That's my whole point.
Okay.
Maybe I won't.
So is it fair to say that the interview process for you sometimes can try to scratch so deep that it's just not fair?
It scratches so deep that I'm so ready for you guys that I wouldn't scratch as deep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I've interviewed a lot of people, Tori, and no one's ever actually said that, and I think they feel it, and they've never said it. You're the first person who's ever said that.
Well, I haven't exercised in 3 weeks, and I've got too much cellulite on my body, so there you go.
No, I think what you speak is a lot of truth, and I've often wondered about this process, but never had it confronted to me like you've just confronted me with it. So, I don't know whether I should say thank you, but it's just, that's interesting.
I promise you don't have to say thank you.
No, but it's
but
just...
But if you ever need to get interviewed, call me, because I really, really won't give you a hard time.
Okay.
I've been given a hard time enough in my life. I'm not going to give you one.
Well, I don't know where exactly to go with this interview, because there was...
Don't you love that? Don't you love for once not knowing where to go? I send you a big kiss.
Oh, Tori, if not intimidation, but if making me shake and squirm and question my every next question, you've succeeded, and I'm not ashamed to say that you've succeeded in making me sort of flounder a bit.
That wasn't my intention.
I know it wasn't your intention, but as an interviewer, I like to maintain a level of A, control, B, consistency, and C, good conversation. And at the moment, I'm struggling with all three.
So, okay, let's go to one thing, because I'm really, really curious. Who's your favorite Formula One driver?
I hate car racing. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on car racing.
Can I just tell you something?
What?
I really wanted to be a car driver.
When?
Nobody knows that, but I really, really didn't want to play the piano. I wanted to race cars. And my dad didn't think that was a thing that girls did.
How old were you at this point?
5.
Were you playing the piano before 5?
Yeah, 2.5.
Okay. But car racing was a bigger passion, was it?
Yeah. And being a ballerina, but I was fat and not cute. So there you go.
You look great now. Were you really a plump child, were you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. And was that... I was always thin as a kid, and so I never...
Were you really?
Yeah, I know big kids got victimised a hell of a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, but I'll tell you a little secret. I only look good now because all the photographers, they put me in the computer and slim me down.
Oh, they don't.
Oh, of course they
I've
do.
seen you in person.
I'm okay, but, that's what they do. Let's not be naive. That's what they do to everybody. That's how it works. That's how it works.
Do you mind
The only thing you have at the end of the day, right, before Johnny comes in and drags me off to do 20 more interviews, is that you have your instrument, you look at it, you respect it, you play it, and that's all you've got, and your self-respect. And at the end of the day, that's all you have.
Self-respect and the instrument, and a respect for that instrument.
That's it. In the music business, that's all you've got.
Do you have a question? Do you have a question?
You know what? That's not bad. Do you know what I mean?
If you can maintain that, that'd be brilliant. Isn't that like the sort of the little seed inside the whole plant, whereby if you can maintain the purity of that, everything else you can deal with?
It depends how big the everything else is. Do you know what I mean? If we're honest, you've got to be so strong to fight that. And for some reason, I've been up for like 24 hours. I'm so tired. I'm being very honest with you. But for all those musicians out there, that's the truth. You have to know why you're making music. And if you don't stay true, somebody will steer you down a different path.
You are strong, though, aren't you?
I'm not even going to answer that.
Why?
That's vulgar to answer that.
It's vulgar to answer that.
You know that question.
I know the question. I mean, I know the answer as well, but I just wanted you to actually, reassure yourself that you're strong enough to go through that.
I don't need to reassure myself.
For the fans, I mean.
No. You and I wouldn't be talking if I didn't know that.
Okay, I understand. This interview is going to wind to an end very, very quickly.
Fair enough.
I've barely asked any of the questions on my page. I don't mind that.
Don't you love that?
I don't mind that one little bit. Often the best interviews I do, I don't even sort of ask any of the questions. But I don't mind that whatsoever. There's many things I want to ask you because this is such an interesting new album. But maybe we'll.
But you have to know the questions I want to ask you. So when it's time, call me. Okay? And I'll interview you.
Okay.
Deal?
If you can be contactable.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Tori.
Bye for now.
Can I ask one smidgen of a question? Very easy. Are you coming back to Australia soon?
I would love to come to Australia. I would love to. It isn't my choice at this point. Call East West Records, okay?
Sorry, what was that?
If you want me to come, call East West Records. Tell them you want me to come.
Well, yeah. Well, I just know that the fan base here that you've got is incredibly strong.
I would love to come, but you know what? Let's be honest. Call East West Records and tell them you want me to come.
Okay.
That's what this is about.
I think they should already know that, though.
Yeah, but let's not be silly. Put heat under them.
Put heat under them, okay.
If you want me to come, put heat under them.
All right,
That's the truth.
The fans are hearing this, so I'll let them deal with a lot of it too.
Fair enough.
Okay. Tori Amos, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.